my word, that voice was just ringing in my head and in my ear. And I'd like to say we have the person to whom that voice belongs right here in the studio. And that person is Ebisan Bukola Damola. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on Sunrise.
Thank you very much for having me.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Ebisan grew up in Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and England, and she actually studied accounting and finance and has a master's in international business management. So naturally, the first question is, Ebisan, can you please tell us how come you gave up all that and went into music?
I always tell people no knowledge is ever lost, and I don't really believe I gave up anything. If anything, it's actually put me in a better position. Yes, of course, it doesn't have anything to do with me singing, but this is a music business after all. So as long as there is business involved, then my degree definitely helps.
How did you get into music? Is there music in your family?
Yeah, we love music, but I'm the only one
love
doing
listening to music.
We used to perform as kids. My siblings and I used to perform all the time. You know, we never charged, which we should have, you know.
And who would have paid for kids entertaining
my
people?
My grandma would have, you know, supported us. Yeah, we were always thinking up ways to recreate, you know, things and just play around with music, dance, drama. So there was always something fun and creative happening at home. Yes, there was always something fun and creative happening at home. So I think that influenced my choice in, you know, career.
Okay. But there's no family member who sings?
Professionally, no, but they all sing, you know, in the comfort of their own home.
Yeah, now tell me, how do your parents feel about all this that's going on?
Okay, well, let's just say they were pretty supportive, but I think until I actually started singing and, you know, producing videos and more music, they realized that, okay, you know what, you're actually quite talented and maybe she's actually serious about taking this, you know, to the next level. So they started supporting me. And then they also think I'm talented, so why not, you know? Why not?
When did you start the music?
When did I start music? Professionally, I'd say at the age of 16. Yeah, that was the first time I actually got paid. But I had been performing well, like, before then. That was, like, my first stage performance was at the age of 8.
In primary school?
Yes. It was a Christmas carol performance, and yeah, I had a solo performance and it was really great.
And everybody just went like, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know what, I can actually do this. I can actually do this for a living. So I'd been planning how to break it to my family.
Were you singing?
Yes, I was. And even when I was in university, I used to work as a session singer. So I used to sing at weddings. I used to sing for songwriters. You know, I was making extra pocket money on the side. While I was
Mom was happy about that.
Okay, so your genre of music, what would you call it?
I'd say I make soulful music. I can work with different beats. I can work on a dance track. I can work on a reggae track, but my vocals are always soulful.
Okay, and when you look at what you've done so far, a number of people will say more often than not, when you are into this kind of music, doing what in Nigeria they call collabo. Collaboration with other musicians is often something that you do with a view to hop there and to kind of... Is it something you're looking at?
Well, my latest single is with an artist called Chidima.
Okay.
So she, not Chidima, the one that you know. She's actually now called Chi, the lady I did a song with. But she's not as famous as, you know,
Chidima.
The other Chidima or the other. But I chose to work with her because of her vocal abilities. I tend to think about the music and what I'm trying to create more than the person or how popular the person is or whatever. Of course it helps to work with someone who's already established, but I find that there's a certain hunger and drive in those who are upcoming.
Gotcha.
You know, that you get with, and than with others who are a bit more established.
Some people do say that in the music industry today, it's a lot more difficult for young ladies to make their way up. How difficult is it being for you, and how true is it?
Okay, well, obviously there's always going to be challenges, but I've never really looked at it as, oh, it's because I'm a woman. I just think with any career path that you take, there's always going to be something, you know, some obstacle. But it's about how passionate you are about what you're doing, and how motivated and how driven. You know, you can just overlook all that and just see it as, you know, a way to make you better at what you do. So whatever challenges have come my way, I can't particularly say it's because I'm a woman. It's just, I think a guy would go through some of the things that I've gone through.
But if you were to be honest though, would you say that guys have it easier? You don't think so?
No, I think we might have different ways to deal with the challenges, but I really don't think they have it easier. I think it's more, for me, I think it's more about the choice of music you choose to create. Like, for instance, I make what people would say is alternative music. So it's not necessarily the kind of music you would hear in the clubs, you know, so that in itself is a challenge. So even if I were a guy, I'd face those challenges anyway. I tend to see issues with what kind of music you make as opposed to your gender.
Now, you studied abroad, and then you chose to come back to get into this Nigerian music industry, which, to be fair, is very vibrant and is very alive. But as you also say, your kind of music is not the kind of music you'd hear in the club. So when you came back, how did you find the industry?
Okay.
And was what you found encouraging enough for you to actually choose to go into it?
Okay. Well, first of all, I was going to go into it whether or not
there was a vibrant industry
or not, because I knew that there were lots of talented people in the background anyway, you know, who would believe in what I was trying to achieve, and regardless of whether it was popular or not, I was going to do this. But yeah, when I came, I found that the likes of Cobams, you know, Asha, then there was Bez, you know, I started seeing that there was some kind of a movement, like a revolution almost, you know, and I was, yeah, I'm glad I came when I did, because I'm joining them, you know. Yes, some people say, oh, you're taking the plunge, you're doing this for us and for the youth and all that, so that later on it will be easier to come out with what they call good music in the future. And I'm like, to be honest, I didn't really see myself as a, you know, freedom fighter type person. I just believe, I just wanted, and I wanted to make music that I can be proud of 10 years, 20 years from now. And also, my parents and my family members, you know, I had to be able to justify leaving, like you said, all that, the accounting background, and going into music. So I couldn't now come and present them with something that, you know, they'd be a bit like, really, you left accounting for this? Yeah.
Talking about justification, have you been vindicated?
Yes, and I will continue to be.
How so?